Hi. Welcome back to Las Vegas Business Today. Now I'm with Jim Eagan from Limestone Investments. Hi. Limestone Investments. Sorry about that, Jim.
Yeah, no worries.
Welcome. Yes.
Thank you.
So tell me about Limestone and about your lease option and how does that work?
We specialize in lease options here in Las Vegas. We've got the largest inventory of property available for lease with the option to purchase. And the way it works is a tenant has the opportunity to put some money down and pay a little bit extra each month, and that's accumulated to purchase the property at the end of the lease.
Oh, that's great.
So typically a lease period is 2 years, and but they're all flexible. It depends on what the tenant needs and what our investor is interested in doing with the tenant.
That's fantastic because it's really needed here. A lot of times people can't get the traditional loans at the bank, and
correct,
and so they have like a net. They work with you.
Exactly. So if they have credit issues, that gives them some time to work on their credit.
Yeah.
And we also assist them with the credit cleanup and getting a mortgage at the end of the lease.
That's wonderful. So there's really no background checks when you do this?
That's correct. We have discovered that tenants who put a lot of money down actually turn out to be better tenants. They take care of the property because they're eventually going to own it.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much money do they need to put down?
It varies. You know, a condo could be something like maybe $1,000, maybe $1,200, something like that. Whereas a larger house in an exclusive community might be $10,000, $20,000. So it really depends. We don't make it a mystery. On our website, it shows exactly how much they need down in order to get in.
Your website, okay, and what is that?
And that's ifindproperties.com.
Okay.
WeFindProperties.com. Yes.
I'm liking it, and it's all over Las Vegas. Is it Henderson?
Yes, we have inventory all over the place, and it changes 24/7. So we keep that inventory on our website current.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. How long is the lease generally?
It really depends. If someone has a really good credit, they only may need 8 or 10 months, or maybe a year. If they've got really bad credit, then they might be looking at 3 to 4 years. So it really. We give the tenant an opportunity to decide on what's best for them.
That's a good thing. That really is.
Yeah.
So how many given properties do you have? Like you have condos, you said you have homes, you have high-end. So what is your range in properties?
I would say the values range anywhere from, say, $100,000 to $600,000. And again, it really changes. Right now, we actually kind of short on inventory. And so...
so you have a lot of people working with you then?
We actively look for investors who want to do this because with a lease option tenant, they get a better tenant, and they actually can sometimes lock in a price for the sale at the end of the lease.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so actually both parties win. The investor gets a good tenant, and then the tenant gets an opportunity to buy the house.
So that's nice. So you take all the mystery out of it.
Right, yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so at the end of the lease, you need to get a loan?
Yes, you need to get a loan.
Okay.
Purchase agreements come in 2 flavors, either a set price or an appraised value contract. Once the price is determined, then the buyer tenant has to come up with a mortgage. So they can get different types of mortgages. They can get, we call it A paper, that would be with a traditional bank. B or C paper would be a mortgage broker, and then we also have investors that provide hard money loans.
Oh, you have all of it then.
So a worst case scenario, we bridge that buyer tenant with like a 5-year bridge loan until they get into a more conventional loan.
So the goal is really to get them in and to be able to work with them, and their credit will get cleaned up, then be able to get a traditional bank loan.
It is it's their responsibility to get their credit cleaned up. I mean, we can't do that for them.
No, I understand that. But you actually help them,
absolutely,
which is nice because a lot of people don't realize they can do that.
Right, and some of my investors, I will actually lend on the property if the tenant's got a really good reputation for paying on time. Some of my investors will actually be the paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You mean like full on out?
Usually investors won't do a 30-year note.
What about like a 10 or 20 or something like that?
I've had some investors go between 5 and 10.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So really it adds a new dimension to the market then.
Yeah, it really provides tenants who would not have the opportunity to buy a home to get into a home they can purchase later.
And the name of your company is?
It's Limestone Investments, and
Okay.
our website is ifindproperties.com.
And your name is Jim Eagan?
Yeah.
Okay. And can they change your mind? That's the other thing that I'm sure a lot of our audience is curious about. Like they get into this and they think it's the perfect house for them. They put the money down. Maybe when they get in there,
You know,
something just doesn't hit, or something happens with one of the children, and they've got to be able to get out.
It happens all the time. People change their mind. They want to move back to another state where they came from, what have you.
Right.
If someone changes their mind, the worst case scenario is that they lose their option fee to get into the home, and they also lose their premium that we're paying down.
Okay.
But if they don't complete the contract, we don't chase them down for the balance. They just lose everything that they put into it.
Okay. So in 30 seconds or less, tell our audience what you want them to know and how to get a hold of you.
We specialize in lease options, and we have the largest inventory in Las Vegas. And the best way to reach out to us is through our website, and that's ifindproperties.com.
And you get back to them ASAP.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. It's a pleasure. Thank you for being on our show, Jim.
Thank
I
you
really
for your time.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Limestone Investments. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'll check that out.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll be right back.